Netflix earnings, why it wants to buy WB. We were not in the theatrical business when I made those observations. When this deal closes, we will be in the theatrical business. That's how Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos defended his previous comments about theatrical exhibition during the company's earnings call on Tuesday. It was just the latest in a string of similar comments Sarandos has made recently. He's also stressed that WB movies would have a 45-day window before going to Netflix. People are still, understandably, skeptical about Netflix's ambitions, but if we take Sarandos at his word, there are also simple arguments to be made for his pivot. Yes, Netflix is still the dominant Hollywood streaming platform in the business, but as Sarandos likes to point out, YouTube is watched more often and Netflix's engagement is slowing. More movies and shows would help with that. That's backed up by a new report from Luminate, which found that Netflix's share of viewing time in the US was down in 2025 compared to the 3 previous years. Still at 59% though. HBO Max was at 6%. Combining them would theoretically give Netflix 65% of viewing time, increasing its share. And as I pointed out recently, Netflix kind of sucks at developing new movie franchises. Its most costly movie ever, The Electric State, was a huge miss last year. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon movies were huge busts. Not for nothing, but it kind of has a TV problem in that regard too. Yes, Wednesday, Bridgerton, and Squid Game are all massive hits, but their first seasons are still by far their biggest, despite Netflix adding more subscribers. And big-budget shows like Three Body Problem and The Witcher have been busts. The former was granted a final second season to hastily wrap everything up, and the latter has flailed since its promising first season. WB and HBO IP could dramatically beef up Netflix's TV library. Back to movies, K-pop Demon Hunters, Netflix's biggest movie of all time, is its only blockbuster with franchise potential, and a sequel is years away. And it inherited that through a deal with Sony, which it also just struck another deal with to stream its movies globally after their theatrical releases. Further, according to the Luminate report, the top streaming movies of 2025 in the US were number 1, Wicked on Peacock, number 2, Demon Hunters, number 3, Moana 2 on Disney+, and number 4, Happy Gilmore 2 on Netflix, a sequel to a movie that premiered in theaters 3 decades ago. A recent Bloomberg analysis of 5 years' worth of Nielsen data also found that Moana and Encanto, both on Disney+, were the most-watched streaming movies in the US since 2020. K-pop came in third, which is impressive since it came out in 2025, but that's the only Netflix original in the top 10. Most everything else premiered in theaters first, minus 2 Pixar movies that debuted on Disney+ during the pandemic. So Netflix knows it is stronger when it partners with traditional studios or can leverage their content. And there's plenty of data that shows how streaming movies can benefit from a theatrical release from a studio. So why not buy one? Disney's dilemma continues. That Bloomberg analysis also found that Disney Plus has pretty much stalled in viewing over the last 3 years, despite the big animated movies and a string of Marvel and Star Wars shows that have mostly come and gone. The Luminate report also shows that Marvel's movies aren't exactly doing gangbusters on streaming after their tepid theatrical releases, reinforcing that the franchise is only thriving now during event releases like Deadpool and Wolverine. That movie was watched for 1.34 billion minutes in the US in its first week on Disney+, according to Nielsen, or roughly 10 million viewers. That's double last year's top Marvel movie, Captain America: Brave New World, which was watched for 650 million minutes in its first week, according to Luminate. Yeah, different sources, whatever. Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four: First Steps were watched by 3 million and 4 million viewers in their first weeks on Disney+, respectively. Those movies largely disappointed at the box office too, with none making the worldwide top 10 last year and none crossing $600 million. This year could mark a turning point, as Disney will release its first Avengers and Star Wars movies in 7 years, and it's fully integrating Hulu into Disney+. But the streaming numbers should be an eye-opener.